Hello everyone, and welcome to my first Wedding Wednesday video. I hope that this will become a series. Many of you know that my daughter was married last November and we were on a very strict budget, so I did all of the planning and I was the go-to person for everything. My daughter was very concerned about finding a place to live and starting her life, so she really kind of left things up to me. I would say, do you like this? Yeah, that's great, do that. So I wanted to share with you some of the tips that I learned throughout the 17-month planning process. So I did make some notes so I don't go off topic. I would say that after you get engaged and all that excitement dies down, the most important thing you need to do is sit down and decide on a budget and do your very best to stick to that budget. After you decide on your budget, then decide what are your main priorities for your wedding. What are the things that you just cannot live without? And then you will know that the bigger part of your budget will go towards those items. My daughter's main thing for her wedding was she wanted really beautiful photography. So we knew that we could skimp on a couple other things and put that money towards the photography. We were fortunate enough to get a really wonderful photographer. We were able to get a photo booth for the reception and a videographer who really shouldn't have wasted that money. So I wanted to kind of show you what we did from the start, and I started with this white notebook binder. It's very plain. I did plan on decorating this, with pretty pictures, but let me tell you, 17 months of wedding planning, this was not my top priority. Besides that, I also had a little calendar that I kept in here. And why this is so important, not only for the dates that you have appointments with venues or florists, if you have any kinds of troubles, like we had a trouble with her wedding dress. So I called the place to resolve it. When I called, I put out my calendar, the date that I called, I wrote down who I spoke to, what time, and what the resolution was. So when I went back to the store, if they gave me a hard time about, well, that's not what we said, that's not who you talked to, I have it all written down and I'm ready to go. That's very important, because as soon as you say wedding, a lot of people are so emotional and they'll just spend all kinds of money and they don't listen. So I made sure I wrote everything down in this little calendar, which I kept in my binder. So the next thing, before I get into showing you how I did the binder, when you're going through and you're making decisions like venue, cake, photographer, it's very important that you ask people for their recommendations on who did you use, did you like them, but don't just go with that decision. Make sure you do some research on weddingwire.com or theknot.com. If I had done that after I received a recommendation from a friend who I adore, I would have known that the place that we chose to have our cakes done was horrible, that they had bad service, and I wouldn't have used them and wasted $900 on 2 cakes, because we did a groom's cake and we did a wedding cake. So I think that's really important. Not only get recommendations, I think that's very important, but research those recommendations so you don't have any of the problems that I had. Let me see. Okay, I think I covered everything on that list, so I'm going to get in and show you the basics of my binder. It's not fancy, it just holds all my information. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Okay, so basically it's just a white school binder, which I already showed you. It's very plain. It did have a pocket if you wanted to put a picture, but like I said, not top priority. So the first thing I did when we got started was I have a business card holder. It's like a page protector. That was the first thing in my notebook. So anybody that I had hired, I put their business card in these slots. So all I had to do was flip open my book and all the information I needed was right here. This was very important. We're going to skip over some of this because that was after the planning. So the first tab I had was for our venue. This is a florist card I didn't want to lose. So anything that had to do with our venue, I put behind this tab. These were our possible menus. I put those in there so I wouldn't lose them. Contracts went into page protectors so that they would not get damaged. Again, we had to rent chairs for our venue, so I put the contract in there, anything like that. Then I had, this was our photographer, and I penciled these in case I needed to change anything. Contract, anything that we had decided on, all in page protectors so they do not get lost or ruined. We got a photo booth. I just want to stop right here and tell you, I did a lot of research on photo booths because this was very important to my daughter. And I was able to get a really good deal. I registered in a month where they had a discount, and I got a $400 discount. So what I learned from this is never take the first price anybody offers you. Because again, they say wedding and you think, oh, we're going to spend $1 million. Always ask, is that the very best price you can do for me? And 9 times out of 10, they will do a better price because in this economy, they really want your services. So contracts, I had the DJ, Kenny Mondo DJs, all of that was in here. I'm sorry I keep moving the camera. I'm not sure if there's credit card numbers on some of these papers, so I apologize for the jerky filming. And then, of course, wedding gown. We had church, all the information for the church. And then I had tabs, shower information. I had 2 showers for my daughter. We had a lingerie shower, which was very small and intimate, and then we had a big shower for her. So she was spoiled, and she got 2 wedding showers. And here's, I just kept like cute invitation wording, anything I might want to use. Then we had the guest list, so I could keep track of who was coming, who wasn't coming. And then this was my daughter's idea. I think she saw it at someone else's shower. We made a list of everyone who RSVP'd for the shower. And then we wrote down their name so that then whoever was keeping track of the gifts could just find the name that was on the card and write down what my daughter had received. So this was very easy for thank you notes. So I recommend that if you can. I could have typed this up on the computer, but to me it was just easier to write it all down. More bridal shower information. I also did the same thing with wedding ideas. You know, cute little sayings. We knew we wanted to put either a Bible verse or a saying on her programs. So anything that I found that I thought was cute, I wrote down. And of course, everything I ran by my daughter. This, you know, I used to tell her all the time, this is your marriage, but it's my wedding. And she didn't like that at all. But, you know, I'm doing all the planning. My husband and I were paying the bill. So, yes, I wanted her to have what she wanted, but I also wanted it to be, you know, something special from us, if that makes any sense. So this is my binder. This, like I said, was my wedding Bible. It has pockets in the back and the front, which was very important for any loose things that you know really didn't have a binder, a section. This was my daughter's save the date card. We're very southern and country out here, and it says the hunt is over, save the date on the front, and they're dressed in all their camo gear. And then on the back it says the hunt is over, David and Maureen have found each other, save the date. So these were our save the dates, and of course I wanted to save keepsakes, so they're still sitting here in my wedding Bible. And then as we go through invitations and things, I'll discuss the table arrangements and the map and, you know, how we sat people. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you found it useful and informational. I would appreciate it if in the comments box you would let me know what kinds of videos you might like to see regarding weddings or showers so that I can go ahead and give you that information. I really can't even talk. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much.